Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back today and I'm jumping ahead a little bit and I'm looking at one of the cards that's been spoiled from Phyrexia All Will Be One. So this is the next set after the Brothers War, and this is obviously a card a lot of people I think have been talking about. I've seen a few tweets about it, I've seen a few bits and pieces here and there. Haven't seen one of these yet, so I decided it's time to try and get ahead of the curve for this video and to catch this legend before everyone else starts talking about it. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I haven't got that many subscribers, I've got 103 as I record this. I'd like a few more. I'm not being greedy, just a few more people. Leave me a comment, let me know. But anyway, let me talk about this card. It is one of the prayer tools we've been waiting to come out. We've seen a few of the others in recent sets, but this is the one I think everyone's been waiting for, and it obviously is Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. 4 and a white for a 4/7 legendary creature, Phyrexian Praetor, with Vigilance. No real change there on her normal stats. However, the abilities have changed significantly. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes the triggered ability of a permanent you control can trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponents control to trigger. So, everyone's looked at this and gone, is Panharmonica on a creature? Yeah, okay, it's good. However, there's one very big significant change between the two, and it took me a little while to pick up on it, and hence why I'm doing this video. I'm guessing if you're watching this you've already picked up on it, but here's the big change. I'm just going to put both the cards side by side. Elesh Norn says a permanent. Panharmonicon says an artifact or a creature. Elesh Norn is technically better. Elesh Norn will trigger off anything entering the battlefield, not just your artifacts, not just your creatures. Now, it did take me it took me a little while to get that in my head. I'm starting to understand why the pre-cost price of Elesh Norn is now going through the roof. As I record this, I think the pre-order price for most of the stores that I've looked at have got it somewhere around $50. I hate to think what it's going to be on MTGO, so even though I'm building this deck, I might have to wait for Elesh Norn to come down in price on MTGO, but I wanted to get this video out. Sorry for the dodgy graphics, it's just I had to copy and paste the cards and I didn't do a very good job of it, so sorry about that. But anyway, Panharmonicon is there. I'm going to include it in the deck because, you know, if we're going to be looking at things that are entering the battlefild, we might as well have that in there to trigger out some of the other things I've got coming in. But I was really interested with Elesh Norn. It just seems like a good way of doing things. And if I've done the reading correctly, and this is where it may go wrong, this also triggers with certain enchantments coming into play. So here's my deck. Obviously this is going to be on MTG Goldfish. I can't do it in a MTGO because Elesh Norn's not there, so sorry if it looks a bit rough, but here we go. Start at the top as normal. You know, I don't know if you've seen the deck list before on Goldfish, but they all start with Commander. So there's Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. And then what I was looking for was creatures that either had a trigger when things were in the battlefield or they triggered when they came into the battlefield. So I got my understanding right. Things with the comes into play ability trigger as well. So if I'm wrong, let me know down below. I'll take the video down and apologise for being an idiot. But anyway, so we went down it. 1-drops. We went Lunar Veteran for life gain along with Soul Ward and the Soul's Attendant. I did chuck in Mardu Reaper, mainly because it does let us exile creature cards from the graveyard. There's no other real warriors in here, but I'd be looking to play this when I had Panharmonicon and Elesh Norn in play to get rid of 3 cards out of graveyards, hence why it's here. And Offends is in because that will trigger when creatures enter the battlefield under our control. We get to chuck some +1/+1 counters around. Hence why Backup Agent's in here, because with Panharmonicon or Elesh Norn in play, we get to chuck around 2 +1/+1 counters. Seemed like a bit of a no-brainer. Daxos helps with the life gain, along with Impassioned Orinator and Lone Missionary. Knights of the White Orchid and the Loyal Warhound are here really for the white mana ramp. Obviously, this is a mono-white deck, so we've got a lot of planes in the deck, so we might as well go and search them out with these two. And obviously, you know, extra triggers are always good with these. Sutra Priest with the life gain. Adeline's one of the things I was putting in just to try and help us win a bit more. There's a couple of things in here, and I had a few slots left, so I put in some creatures that you probably don't really work at all well with Elesh Norn or Panharmonicon, but I decided to put them in because they're actually quite good in white decks. This is one of them. its power is equal to the number of creatures we control, and when we attack, we get all the 1/1 white human creature tokens that's taps and attacking. So, you know, I decided to put it in just to give us a bit of a wave, maybe it's like mini win condition type thing. Fiend Hunter, to exile all the annoying creatures when we've got them in play. Filigree Familiar, life gain. Okay, nothing trigger. You only get an extra card when it dies. You know, it just replaces itself when it dies. But, you know, if you've got Elesh or Panharmonicon in play when it comes into play, extra life's always good. Lauren and the Third Path's in here for the same reason. Having that ability to destroy artifacts for enchantment seems like a really good idea to me, especially we can do it twice for 3 mana. And then, you know, the card draw's not the end of the world. Mentor the Meek is actually to help our card draw. Another reason for having it in the deck. It's there. A lot of our creatures have got power of 2 or less, so we might as well pay the 1 and draw a card as we go through it. Right, now, Ajani's Chosen. I've put this in because we have got enchantments in the deck, which I believe trigger off Elesh Norn when they come into play, if Elesh Norn's in play. So I figured having Ajani's Chosen in here is not a bad idea. As you can see, there's 12 enchantments over here. There you go. Where am I going? There you go. There you go. Up there. So, you know, it's potential. You get a few of these. You get a few tokens off Ajani's Chosen. Even if you don't, oh well, it's still a reasonable creature. Blaring Recruiter, just so we can trigger some of our comes into play abilities we've got coming in. There's a few token producers in here, and I'll get the biggest one of those that I'm talking about is obviously Cathar's Crusade and Angelic Chorus, but I'll get to them in a minute. Cemetery Protector again to exile stuff that's in the graveyard that's annoying us, and if we can play a land or cast a card that shares a card type with the exiled card, we get some more tokens. So we've got something that helps us with tokens. Likewise, Emeria Angel triggers a couple of times when we play lands, which is nice. Goodnight Commander, extra triggers for creatures coming into play, pump everything up, kind of like a overrun that doesn't give trample. Oketra's in purely because it creates tokens, so that helps trigger these sort of things. Likewise, Scrap Work Cohort seems like a good idea in this deck, and the Unearth ability could be useful. Solemn Sim, I'd quite like to get 2 lands out of my deck, thank you very much. Angel of Invention, yeah, I'll have double triggers on that as well, thank you very much. Yeah, so I can have my 4/3 or my 6/5, or I can have a whole load of servos to help me out if I'm behind. Cavalier of Dawn to blow things up. Yes, they'll get extra golem tokens, but hey, I'll cope with that. Platoon Dispenser does the token trick as well. Sun Titan to bring back anything 3 or less that gets destroyed, and that includes some of the other things we've got coming up shortly. Ancient Gold Dragon, because I wanted a dragon in the deck, and I figured having this in and getting maybe some blockers would be quite nice. It doesn't do anything, but yeah, I've chucked it in for the sake of it. Angel of Serenity, hopefully with Elesh Norn or Panharmonicon in play, will exile lots of things. And Emeria Shepherd as well, just so we can get the things back from the graveyard to our to the battlefield that's been killed off. Because, you know, we will be playing a lot of planes. 3 quick planeswalkers in, nothing major here. Ajani, Strength of the Pride for a bit of life gain, and then create some 2/2s if we want to. Or, you know, they make Ajani Pride tokens, so at the end of the day, we might get some big things with the amount of life gain we've got. Gideon's in as well, just to make a nice big creature and eventually hopefully hit the -15 so we can exile all other permanents, which is quite nice, and just leave this on the board because we do win the game when that happens, believe it or not. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. Token production, board control for the creatures with power 4 or more. Hopefully we get up to the 7 to do the whole +2/+2. Spells, Day of Judgments, Shatter the Sky, Wrath of God, 4 mana, basic, all the 4 mana Wrath of Gods I own on MTGO, plus Server Exhibition, because I decided I want to make some little more artifact token things. A few other things, so going to the artifacts, Jeweled Lotus to help us cast Elesh Norn a bit quicker. Along with Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman to do the ramping side. Elixir of Immortality, so we can shuffle everything from our graveyard back into our library if it all goes pear-shaped, which is quite possible with this deck, I think. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Farewell Stone, Marble Diamond, all for a bit more ramp, along with Nyx Lotus, just because we are playing a monocolour deck, and we might as well have this to get the extra white mana. I've also included Doors of Destiny. Now, it's a little bit difficult to choose a creature type with this deck. I did think about it, but if you look at it logically, most of the creature types we've got on here are either clerics or soldiers, so it's up to you which one you want to pick. I would probably, Although we have got Blowing Recruiter that does the warrior bit with Mardu Reaper, but most of our token producers produce soldiers, and Orketra produces warriors, so it's going to be soldiers or warriors. So pick whichever one you've got the most of in play and do that. Probably looking at what we've got in the deck, I'd go warriors. And you know, when a creature, whenever you play a spell of that type, put a charge counter on the door. It's not quite as good as I thought it was, but hey, it's there. Actually, that's terrible. Take this card out. I'll put something in the video description what I've replaced it with, so I'm not recording this whole video, so I've been talking for a while now. Take this card out. This is bad. This should not be in here. If you want to leave it in, fine. Maybe you can put in something like Glorious Anthems, what I was trying to think of. And if you give me 2 seconds, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go and change it right now on the deck list. Be right back in a sec. There you go. See, it's gone now. It's all been changed, and yeah, we've got Glorious Anthem in. I've put it in over the top. So sorry for that interruption to the video. Anyway, going back, and obviously we've got Panharmonicon in as well, just so we double up on the triggers. Now, if I've read Elesh Norn correctly, the new version, Mother of the Machines, it says if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Same as Panharmonicon. So in my mind, that means we get extra life from Marjani's Welcome. Legion's Landing, which is being very weird today. That is Legion's Landing, as you know. It's the enchantment that comes into play and creates a 1/1 vampire token with lifelink. And then when you attack with 3 or more creatures, you flip it and you've got the land to make more vampires for 2 and a white. So that's in here as well, so I'm guessing that gives us an extra vampire token if Elesh Norn's in play. Borrow Time, I think we get to take out 2 permanents with if Elesh is in play. Glorious Anthem, you just know I've gone in and changed it all around. Oath of Gideon should trigger twice, so it gives us 4 of the core tokens. And I think it also means that this triggers, we get 2 extra counters on it on Planeswalkers we control if this is in play. Anointed Procession is so we can make all those lot more tokens as things go along. There's no point not having it in here with the amount of token producers I have. Cast Out, 2 permanents. Felidar Retreat triggers twice when we do landfall if we've got Elesh in play. Smothering Tithe, it's a white deck. You can't expect to have not seen this in the deck. Angelic Chorus will trigger twice, gain all that lovely life equal to the toughness of the creatures. Cathar's Crusade, again, I think triggers twice as Elesh Norn's in play, so we get 2 counters instead of 1 for every creature that comes in place. That makes our army very big very quickly. Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't do any triggering as far as I'm aware, but it could trigger an additional time and make things complicated for our opponents, so you know, I'm not sure. And I think Rabble Rousing Hideaways 2 with Elesh Norn's in play, so we'll see how that goes. The rest of it, load of things to go and search out lands. Castle Ardenvale to make some soul tokens if we need to. Desert of the True to cycle along with Drifting Meadow to improve a card drawing. Ajano Castle just to try and keep some of our legendary creatures alive. Emeria Skyrune, you can bring back stuff that's been put in the graveyard if we haven't shuffled it all back in. Evolving Wilds, Fable Passage, search out the land. Field of the Dead, because I figured we had enough different lands in here we could actually try and have some zombies in a white deck, which is going to be a bit weird, but hey, it's the way it goes nowadays. Field of the Dead turns up everywhere. Idyllic Range, just so we can make sure we've got the 3 planes in play, and when this ends the battlefield, we get to chuck around some +1/+1 counters. If we've got Elesh Norn in play, I'm pretty sure this gives us 2 +1/+1 counters as well, so that's quite nice. Mistfield Plains, just to recycle things onto the bottom of our library. We'll have more than 2 white permanents in play. Nykthos Shrine of Nyx is in because everything's white, so we might as well have it in play to get that extra mana ramp and go quicker. Obscura Storefront to find planes, 18 planes, Reliquary Tower, Secluded Step for the cycling, Temple of the False God for the ramp, Terramorphic Expanse, and Windbrisk Heights, and that is the deck. So like I said, this is a really fast take for me on Elesh Norn. Yes, I know we haven't seen hardly any of the set for Phyrexia All Is One. I'm well aware of that. I'm suspecting there will be other good creatures that do trigger abilities when they come into play. Whether they're going to be in white or whether they're going to be colours, we don't know. But I just want to get this out here. This is my first initial take on it. I will probably do a more up-to-date Elesh Norn video later on in the year, once Elesh Norn's actually available on MTGO and we've seen some more of the set. But yeah, I wanted to get this video out here now. So Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think is going to be coming, and I will see you soon. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. Come and follow me on Twitch. Links all in the description. Cheers. See you soon. Bye.